What up? It's free range chicken
and green bean.
Green bean. Your new host of Midwest Mayhem.
I'm taking over.
Girls in the car industry. That's girl power.
Woo woo.
Woo woo.
Is this on? Hi, I'm Tron.
Yeah.
Chad. I can't think what it is.
Tron goes, I'm hangry.
Nice to meet you. I'm my friend Haley.
Said friend
See?
Haley.
Here we
Freeze frame.
So let's talk SmartPath.
It's smart. It's a path.
Path.
It's Toyota.
It's an easy,
It's an easy,
transparent,
and convenient
process
process
to the car buying
experience.
Your path.
Your path, your way. Special shout out to Allison. We miss you. Come back.
Our nails.
Hey.
Oh, my umbrella.
I don't know it. Umbrella. Hey, 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 hey. Under my umbrella. Ella. Hey, hey, hey.
And welcome to Midwest Mayhem. He is Chad Christensen. I am Tron Smith. This is the place to be, I've been told.
Let's go. I mean, we get all these walk-in people. I love it.
Well, I think it's awesome that you're actually doing something that helps people, and that's at the end of the day. As we talk, I mean, our big talk is about our industry and what it can and cannot do, and where it's going and not going.
Right.
So I think it's a good thing when people reach out to me and say, "Hey, you know what? I did get a chance to listen to your podcast, and I like this direction, and I just want to feel for how you feel about this or feel about that." So it's been good, and I just want to set the record straight that it is a smart, transparent process to your car buying experience. Your path, your way.
Your way, baby.
It is SmartPath.
It is SmartPath.
And just really had a good conversation last week. It was kind of neat to have Danny Wilson pop in here and kind of give us insight on what Toyota's future is when it comes to product line. That's always fun and exciting. If you missed that, you feel free to reach out to us on Instagram or Twitter. We have links on both of those. That's at Wilson of Ames. And if you are a Facebook or TikTok person, at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And of course, if you really want to get down with the get down, you can reach out to the big dog himself at Big Strong. That's 2 G's when you're as big as I am on Twitter, and at Big Strong 1 on Insta Chad. If you want to roll up, and if you want to know something about the yum yum, Chad, see yum, all those. You know what, man? What do we do without social media?
I know. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, man. It's just
the way the world's going, though. I don't know why I laugh every time you say double G, big strong, but it just makes me giggle from deep.
I'm glad that I can entertain
every time,
you, my friend.
It is.
As I get into this, I want to make sure I take the time to thank our really good sponsor, Wilson Toyota of Ames. Just a short drive from anywhere in the metro. Again, that's 2212 South Duff Avenue, right here in Ames. And man, if you don't get to Ames very often, man, it's so much changing. I like what Iowa State's done with the bridge out there. That's a really cool look for
it is.
For our
unique.
area. Yeah.
It's unique.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's just one of those deals that you just got to get up here and check it out. But again, thank Denny and Danny Wilson for allowing us.
Thank you to the Wilsons.
To do what we do and do it. But great sponsors who works for a great manufacturing line that makes a great tool in SmartPath. And we kind of got into this last time about what it is, how it works, and which generated a lot of questions.
There was a lot of communication back to us. The who, what, why, when, and where, and how. Yeah, I think that was thrown back at us.
Well, it's an interesting concept, and the more and more I look, I've really been kind of keeping my eye on different things that are going on in retail business, what people are trying to do, how they're trying to do it. And to be honest with you, man, everything is really online. I know it seems crazy to think that way, but the truth of it is if you want something to be easy, it's going to be on the internet.
Right, and we've talked about this quite a bit, about the easy aspect of it, and whether it's in our personal life, on our phone, laptop, iPad, it doesn't matter. And I'll give you another, for instance, that happened yesterday. I logged onto my phone, and we're remodeling part of the house. I had the dumpster scheduled for pickup without talking to a single person. Right?
Yeah.
Just done. Let's go. Next.
Well, I just want to be clear. You're not remodeling some of your house. You're remodeling the entire thing. Would it have been better to just tear it down and rebuild it?
I think you're probably right about that. In fact, I'm positive you're right about that.
How many injuries have you sustained from this remodel?
between the house and the doctor bills,
It would have been cheaper to just buy a new
it
one.
would have been cheaper just to move next door to you. I'll tell you that. But you know what? There's satisfaction and accomplishment, right?
100%.
And I'll even use that talking about SmartPath.
Yeah.
When you jump into a new tool, right, and you learn how to utilize a tool in the way that its intention is for yourself and for the consumer, it actually is the process of speeding up time, and it's the process of allowing the customer to make the decisions for themselves, right?
Yeah.
And if people can make those decisions, it takes the stress of the car buying experience or what people perceive it as away. It lets people take control of the direction they want to go, whether it's payments, money down, whether it's the terms. It allows them to choose what best fits their lifestyle.
The key word in that entire thing was stress. You
Right.
know, it just again, don't ever forget what the society thinks about our industry and who we are. And until we change that, just know that every customer that walks in your, and I shouldn't say every, most customers that walk in your door expect you to try to rip them off at some point.
Right.
In that situation, and to be able to have SmartPath and make things extremely transparent.
I love that word.
It makes it really does. It changes who we are. Only thing we have to do at that point is make sure that our salespeople and sales managers and GMs do their part of taking
Right.
care of the customer. So
Right.
brings me to this when it comes to this part of SmartPath. My first question I would ask everybody is this: how successful do you want to be? And what does success? If you're a sales manager, you're a GM, you should take the time to sit down with your sales staff and you should really ask them, what is success to you? What does that look like? And have them write it down. This is a project I did with you guys
Right.
last week
Right.
in training class. I wanted you to write down what success was for you, what it meant, and everybody had a different. And I didn't do it
course.
so people can show it. And the next question I have for you is, how bad do you want it?
I like it.
How bad do you want whatever your success level
Right.
is? And the toughest question I gave that training class was why? Right? If you ever ask those 3 questions to your staff, and I encourage you guys, ask those questions to your staff, and then really think about the why. I have some salespeople here that have families, and the why is easy, right? I mean, I have
Right,
to
of
support
course.
my family.
Of course.
But then you have salespeople that are young, they don't have families, they don't even have pets. And when you start asking them why, it's really tough. They had to do some soul searching to figure out, because if you don't have a why in what you do, you got to ask yourself why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Make sense?
It makes total sense.
Right.
It
So
makes total sense.
I want our sales staff to know, first of all, what because their success and my success for them is totally different. I'll guarantee you that. How bad they want to be successful. You know, I take that customer that's out on the lot, doesn't want to come in. Right, you get those.
Oh, yes.
I'm
100%.
just looking.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll come in if I need anything.
Now I know you want to say that's what Sundays are for, but
Yeah.
we can't.
Yeah,
can't say that,
that.
right? But I always, the thing when I think about how successful you want to be, I was like, how do you handle that customer because you've had them before?
Right. Right. And I think, it's a barrier that's put up in the beginning, right? They don't want to get engaged because they feel like they lose control. That's kind of how I feel about it, right? So it's easy to ask them, for me, hey, can I get you something to drink while you're walking around? Give them a minute to start doing something. Go grab something, bring it back out to them. Just start a conversation. There's no threatening, back and forth. It's just a conversation. Guide them to the direction they want to go. They have to be here. They're not here to buy groceries, right?
Well, they may be, but they made a wrong
Yeah,
turn.
they made the wrong turn somewhere. But it's easy to start the conversation when it is zero pressure. Does that make sense?
No, 100%.
Just having a conversation.
Nobody wants to feel pressured, and that's where SmartPath really comes in.
That's where I was going with it.
I will give sales managers and GMs, I'll give you a free training deal for this kind of scenario because this is a big scenario in our industry. This is something that consumers put up, and I'm okay with the consumer. I like the angle that they're taking. Hey, let me get a feel for what's going on. So encourage your salespeople when you go out there and you get that person. Hey, you know what? I don't need any help. I'm just here to do whatever. Use this. Hey, you know what? I understand that. I've gone in stores where I want to kind of get a feel for it first. One thing I'll tell you is this. I got certified cars over here. I got SUVs over here. I got
Right.
trucks back there. I got $10,000 and less cars back here. If you can just tell me what you're looking for, I can at least point you in the right direction so you're not looking.
Exactly.
Right? That gives the customer the opportunity to relax a little bit. Gives the customer the feeling of understanding, hey, we're just here to help you.
Right.
However you want that
Right.
help to be, I want
Right.
to be and it really does start a conversation. And if you can start a conversation, that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
So,
right?
hey, you know what? That was a free training class for you.
Yeah.
I won't even send you a bill for that one. You guys feel free to use it if you want to. But whatever you do, make sure that you get in front of your salespeople and help them
Right.
there. So SmartPath, man. I had some few things just like you did. We had some things that came up to us about SmartPath and why dealers don't want to do it and why they're hesitant of doing it. The first thing that they got was cost.
Right.
Right, and we kind of started getting into
addressed
it
a little
last
bit
time,
last
but
time,
I
yep.
really want to dive into this thing. I'll go back to what a good friend of mine, Bob Eckhart, said from S&C Automotive. Shameless plug. S&C Automotive. Okay, if it were free, would you take it?
Right. And he asks us that all the time.
Right.
If it was, would you?
So my question to every dealer that's hesitant about SmartPath, because some people don't understand that you got to make sacrifices to get ahead, and sometimes the things that are free aren't worth freedom, right? Kind of
Right,
deal.
right.
So if it was free, would you take it? So my first question when it comes to that is this: what's the time worth? Your time, and what's your customer's time worth?
I like that right out of the start.
Right?
Because what
bottom
do
line,
customers complain about most in our industry when they're coming in?
here too long.
Why does it take 6 hours to buy a car?
100%.
Right?
I'm here too long.
That's right.
You know what? If you're being honest with yourself, every dealer, that's the number one thing.
It is.
Why is it? And I don't care if it's sales. I don't care if it's service. I don't care if it's a collision center. Whatever you have going on, the number one complaint, the number one thing that will kill your survey and change that 5-star to a 2-star or 1-star is time.
Time,
Man,
yes.
I'm wasting too much time in a dealership. So I'll bring it in. If it was free, would you take it? If I can save you time, if I can take your customer's experience from 4, 5, 6, 7 hours to an hour and a half to an hour, if I can do that for you, man, did I just not tell you that it was free?
Right. Did we not benefit every person involved in the situation?
100%.
The customer, the salesperson, the managers, the dealership.
Right. So if it
Right.
was free, would you take it? My next question I would ask you is this: what's the cost of confusion?
Everything. Lost sales.
Yeah, I mean, it allows
It's lost opportunities. Let's put it that way.
it allows your salesperson to execute a process,
Mm-hmm.
whether they're been there a month or been there 10 years.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's the same process. So now you have a salesperson who's not real savvy in the business, who doesn't have to be, because you have a process on your iPad that allows
That's right.
them and walks them. It's like connect the dots.
It really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? People ask all the time, well, how does it work? It's just like riding a bicycle. You get on it, you do it over and over again. It gets easier and easier over time, correct? You can't jump on it once and run into the first snag and go, this thing doesn't work. Because I'm telling you, it does.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an older person out here doing it daily, and I can sit here and knock out a cash deal in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And that's what you're looking for. I mean,
Right.
you want to be able to do that. It allows you to, when we talk about the cost of confusion, it allows the customer's questions to be answered most of the time before they even ask.
That's right. And that's a really good statement, because, you know, the other thing is customers don't like when I get up, walk in the office, come back, walk in the office, come back. What are they doing behind that door? Right? It's what I ask constantly. What they're taking advantage of me is the thought process. That's what I think, right? As far as what they're thinking. Having this tool in front of them and having them be able to look at everything, you and I communicating without me leaving my seat, having them see everything that we're saying, and them making the choice that best fits their needs, I don't see how it can get any easier.
Well, I'm with you. When I talk about the cost of confusion, right? Think about this. When you leave your office, and it's happening in your store,
Every
just
store.
like it happens in our
Right.
store, it happens in every store. When you leave that office and you're sitting in the sales manager's office and you're working a deal and we're trying to figure out what the best direction, to go is, that customer's sitting on his phone looking at another dealer's inventory.
Right.
Right. If he's not texting the dealer he just left.
Right.
That we're getting confused.
And
I
you know
mean,
what's happening? Time.
Time and confusion, because now I got a salesperson at another store texting them saying, well, I will do the car
Yeah.
you looked at for $500 less. Right. It's happening. If you don't think it's happening, trust me when I tell you, it's happening, because I'm a consumer as well. That's what I would do. If I thought I can get a better deal somewhere, here we go. If I thought I can get a better deal somewhere and the level of customer service is the same.
Ooh.
I'm
Yeah.
going to slow that down,
Thought
like slow
process,
motion.
yep.
If the level of customers, if the level of customer service is the same,
Right.
The key to the business is the level of customer service. Okay,
Absolutely.
But if it's the same, if we're on the same playing
Right.
field, whether that be good, bad, or indifferent,
Yep.
it's coming down to price. I'm just going to tell
It
you that
will.
right now. So if you're not a real good take care of your customer service type store, and you're giving them a mediocre sales process and a mediocre experience,
right.
then I'm going to tell you it's going to come down to price. And that guy that's shopping while you're in the sales manager's office because you don't have SmartPath and you can't stick with the customer,
Right.
trust me, man, it's getting confusing and it's costing you some money. And you know what? If it were free, would you take it? If that $500 changes your deal, didn't it just save you $500?
Right.
I'm just talking about the cost of SmartPath.
Right.
If you don't have to leave the office and allow that customer to get on there and communicate with another dealer, which means they're going to start renegotiating your car deal. I saved you $500,000, $2,000. I'm telling you, it's just the process.
Right.
You need to get on to this SmartPath thing.
Right.
It makes so much sense, right?
You know, and when you keep saying the word over and over and over again, process, right? And for the dealers who are out there are confused about the cost or they're confused about the process, you have a process in place, whatever that process is, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's implementing a tool that makes the process easier. Not only easier for yourself, but for the consumer, for everyone involved, right? And so, and I know that you keep saying the cost, but for me, the cost of having somebody sit here for 3 or 4 hours as a salesperson, when I could turn it into 3 people in that same amount of
100%.
time,
We talked about
it's
that
a
last
no-brainer.
time, right? How many
It's a
cars
no-brainer.
can you sell in the same time?
Right. It's a no-brainer.
With the right process.
Correct.
So think about this. The other thing I want to share with you, GMs and sales managers, is this. And this is a true thing. And this isn't a knock on any part of the process. But I'm going to tell you this. What product is your customer not getting offered in the finance office?
Ooh.
Oh, it's there. There's, you know, and it's like with anybody, they get kind of stuck in their own kind of system, and they know, hey, I'm going to sell gap insurance because you need gap
Right.
insurance, and I'm going to sell vehicle service agreements because you need vehicle service agreements, but I'm not going to sell anything else for 2 reasons. One, I don't personally see the value in some people, which is a terrible thing,
Right.
Because value is different for everybody.
Right.
And the other thing is that, and maybe I shouldn't say this, maybe I should, but everybody knows me, I say whatever, right? Because you don't get paid on it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You get $5 for selling Ebu, you know. You get $5
Right.
for selling wheel and tire.
Right.
And I'm not going to waste my time. So your entire menu in your finance office is not being presented to the customer. And there's some things in there that a customer needs. When you think about Ebu on a lease, it's like, dude, I'm giving my customer, I'm helping them. If they
Right.
have damage or anything like
Right.
that, we're gonna take care of it. So when you get to SmartPath, though, it's a little different because your menu's all right there.
Right.
That customer is going to get to see every product that the menu you've been trying to get your finance office to go over every
Right.
time. It's right there.
It's
in their
right in front of
hands.
them.
They're
And
going to
not
go
only
through the
that,
menu.
Tron you click on it and it gives you a full description of what the product is and how it benefits the customer.
And what's the number one question from the customer? What does
Oh,
my
yeah.
payment do?
Yeah, how much is it going to change it?
You can click it and it's there.
That's right.
You can
Instant.
click it and it's gone.
That's right.
I know exactly what it's going to do to my payment. I don't have to think anymore.
No.
And it's going to get every single product there offered to your customer. I am saving you money. This is a money thing. It is
Back to the
free
cost.
to have SmartPath. It
Right.
is free if you just utilize it the right way. It's a free product. Guys, it's free.
Right.
Right? Everybody wants free, right? You might have to make it, right? So think about that. I mean, it gives you the ability to present everything, and the customer can click on it. And there are some things. So the cool thing about the finance side of SmartPath is it allows you to change. You know, some customers drive
It does.
less years, more miles. Some customers have, less miles, more years. It allows them to adjust it and tell them what it looks like, payments,
Yep.
things like. I mean, it's
and
just
it
perfect.
goes right back to customer specific, right? It goes back to allowing the customer to make the choices that fits their lifestyle. I don't get it. I'm sorry.
And there's a cost.
I don't get it.
Hey, there's a cost to doing business. I just want you to know that there's a cost to doing business for everyone at every level, no matter what it is. There's going to be a cost. You just got to make sure that you're investing your cost and your time into the right product, right? And when it comes to SmartPath, it's the right product. Hopefully, you're previewed enough eventually to get the service side of it. I had a good conversation with our service rep the other day, Baylor, who's doing it. He's doing a great job for the region right now, and we just kind of talked about how SmartPath is impacting service.
Right.
Again, I go back to it. The number one complaint that gets that survey way down there is how long does it really take to do a oil change?
Right, and change 4 tires.
But what if you can actually look up on a screen and see the process that your car
as
is
it's
going
unfolding.
through, right?
That's right.
So I was listening to the radio the other day, and they were talking about Domino's. Ordering Domino's online. I don't know. Have you done this? You ever order Domino's?
Nope.
So apparently, when you order Domino's online, we should try it just to see.
Yeah.
There's a little dude like making your pizza, so you can see. Okay, we got the crust, we got the sauce, we got the cheese and the meat and the. So it's kind of the same thing with SmartPath and your
So they're doing a
service.
step by step.
It's a little Chad over there working on your car, and he's got this.
Right.
And you can see kind of what he's doing. He got 3
Let's
wheels
go.
off, 4 wheels off, but it's a really good thing, and it saves you time and the customer. So now when that customer's like, man, when is my car going to be done? They can see that they're where they are in the process, and it allows service to come over and say, hey, we're a little behind schedule. I just want to show you on the board. There was a car before you, or whatever the case may
Right.
be. But this is where you are on your schedule. So again, I'm saving you time. I'm saving you money. I'm saving your customers frustration. I'm helping your. I mean, yeah. This again, I'm giving you way too much here. We should pay Toyota for SmartPath.
Right.
Not us.
Right.
Not Wilson's, but other people. We
Sorry.
We want the master P. We want the hookup. Right. So just gotta get
Hey,
that.
I want to ask you this, because one of the questions asked to us, right, was we already kind of addressed the time, right? And the dual entry and people having issues with having to do things over and over, right? Putting person's name in the system, putting person's name in SmartPath, right? When you talk about a process, whether it's training, right? Whether it's SmartPath, whether it's the road to the sale, which we do here, right? It is a step-by-step through. And if you follow that process, everything works easier, right? Mm-hmm. So my question to you is, how would you address the dual entry?
Okay, so 2 things. The first thing I'm going to tell you is this: if it's worth it, would you do it?
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
If it's worth it, would you do it? Mm-hmm. If it was worth it for me, I would do whatever it took to be successful.
Right.
So when you get this dual entry, I need to make sure that if that's where we are right now, that I see the value and I see the process in which SmartPath is. So I'm willing to make that double if I have to double entry. So I'm gonna tell you from the sales manager standpoint, I have to enter that thing into SmartPath and then enter that thing into my desking.
Yeah,
tool,
whichever the tool
which is
you're
a double
using.
entry, which is deal. But here's the thing I'm gonna tell you, it's worth it when it comes to the time that I'm saving the customer. Yeah, I got to do a little more work.
Right.
But if I have to do a little
Right.
more work so my customer doesn't have to spend a little more time, then it's worth it to my customer. If I can make my customer's experience a lot better and a lot easier, and it takes me a little more time, then that dual entry is going to happen because that's what it's all about. If I don't have my customer, I don't have a business anyway, and I won't have to worry about a dual entry at all.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
My concern is the customer. So yeah, right now there's a dual entry in this thing. Okay, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. Now I'm going to address the dual entry. If the dealers would get on board with SmartPath and work with Toyota to fix that, we could press the DMS systems
Right.
and these other systems to
change.
work
right.
with SmartPath, so we
That's
don't
right.
have that dual entry. We don't have to do that. So just keep that in mind. It's going to come down to the dealers. We're stalling. We're sitting in the mud trying not to go forward. And then we complain about things that if we just get on board with Toyota so we can make these changes
Right.
and press our systems to talk to each other, we wouldn't have that. The dual systems from the salesperson standpoint, which
Right.
is the other side of this, where
That's
you got
right.
you put the customer in SmartPath and then he's in SmartPath and he's got a double entry into this.
Right.
This is just teaching the process
It's the
correctly.
process. It goes back to the process on the sales side.
You're gonna hear process a million times.
If you do it the right way the first time, you only have to do it
There
once.
you go. But it comes down to the sales managers and staying close with Toyota so you can get things corrected, and then making sure that you train your salespeople. Training is what's killing people. Okay, training is killing the industry because you don't have sales managers that's willing to train.
Right.
I don't care what you say. Okay, that's the problem. You can go to dealerships, salespeople. You start asking yourself, how much training did I get? They hired you with the ad that said no experience necessary. Then they didn't train you. They gave you a video, or they told you watch this, or they told you
sit
read
in the
this.
back room, watch a video, and
Right?
then let's go.
But they didn't show you how to do it. Listen, if you don't train someone, you don't have the right to hold them to a certain standard. Once you train someone and you show them how to do it, then you get the right to hold them accountable for what they're saying. If you haven't trained them, stop complaining about them not doing their job right. When you get them trained and you show them the way that you want the process to go in the way your store functions, by all means, hold them accountable.
Right.
Until then, stop harping on the salespeople about them not doing this and not doing that and not doing it this way. Right? Train them, and then say, hey, I know you know how to do it because I've trained you.
Right.
So this is the same thing with SmartPath. Train them how the process. It'll take care of that dual entry.
And you know what? It'll also take care of one of the big things one of the things that was addressed to us was sustainability. How do we get people to continue to use it, right? on both ends.
Okay.
Right?
Hey, buckle your seatbelt.
Hey, get ready.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Let's go.
This is where the work starts. Okay,
100%.
This is where the work starts. I'm going to tell you this. This entire business is built on repetition. Everything you do at every level is built on repetition. How do you get good? I share with you salespeople. Every salesperson that I train, I tell them the same thing. And they say, oh, dude, you're so good. No, I wasn't always good. Okay, I started just like every other salesperson did. And the sales managers that forgot that,
Right.
the GMs that have forgotten that, those are the ones that they're having a problem training their sales staff. Man, I started not knowing just like you did. So what we have to do is we have to work and make sure that we're in front of our salespeople on a consistent basis. Because once the process gets taxing and it's not easy, they're not going to do it anymore.
Right.
Okay. So you have to work from a sales management, from a GM side, to make sure that you're staying knowledgeable and you're staying sharp, so you can keep everything in front of your salespeople and be available to answer their questions and their frustrations about the system. And again, the more dealers that get on, the more we can get the system to work the way that it fits. When it comes to that, it's just what it's going to take. Because reality is this: we are going to go there. The other thing I'm going to tell you about sustainment to have this actual work. You have to be consistent. Okay, you have to be consistent, and you just got to hang in there. You know, I got my son Trenton plays quarterback, and as we get ready for his senior year, the one thing we're talking about, myself, him, and his QB trainer, is, dude, you have to stay in the pocket, right? And it's the same thing with SmartPath. When things get rough and things not working on a Saturday morning and things are falling apart, you just got to stay in the pocket. And with SmartPath, you just got to stay in there.
That's all you have to do.
And realize that, dude, when it's breaking down, it's going to be the quickest way. SmartPath is still going to be the quickest way to get the customer through the process, whether it's working or it's not working.
That's right.
You go to the old school, you relate back to what you think is the easiest, but that old school process is what takes 5 and 6 hours. Okay,
100%.
We want to stick to the guns and just stay in the pocket and make sure that we're staying in there. And I'm going to tell you, be consistent on a consistent basis and keep working at it.
I wrote down 2 things.
I'm listening
and
to
I
you,
thought
but you
about
better get to
it's
it.
going to be quick. The first thing I related this to is, and don't laugh about this, but everybody makes New Year's resolutions. This is the year I'm going to lose weight, right? This is it.
It didn't work.
I just buy bigger pants, but that's not the point. All these millions of people, right? And I'm going to use car dealerships as a million people. All these car dealerships, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, right? And then they start dropping like flies, right? Of whatever they're doing. And when I go back to the weight loss, it's because they're not continuing the process of how do I get there. They don't have a plan. They don't execute the plan. They don't have anyone helping them, whatever it might be, right? So when it comes to SmartPath, think of it as someone trying to lose weight, right? The more you work at it, the more you get better at it, the more you're going to be successful, right?
100%.
And this one I wrote in capital letters.
Before you get, Denzel Washington said it first. He said, "We don't plan to fail; we fail to plan."
That's right.
And that's a consistent thing. That's just the truth in it. And again, we can get into this. I'm going to let you get your little.
I just got to do this one because I wrote this down in
to it.
bold capital letters. Change takes effort, people.
Did you put people there too?
I put it right now.
Change does take effort, and
change takes effort.
Listen, SmartPath is a change that we need to be assertive with and get after. It's the future of where we're going. Again, I would love to sit with dealers and just kind of, we should have a round table where we just sit there, and I will take all questions on the chin,
100%.
As far as what it is, because I want to know. I really do want to kind of get a concept of what's the hesitation in doing this. The quicker we all get on board, the quicker we can work out what I say the kinks. Because Toyota's really great about fixing things that are going on and doing that. I have a few more things that I want to go over, but I can't. I have to do this. So as much as we talked about, we knew this was going to be a 3-4 part session.
Correct.
I'm okay with that, and I don't want to start something that I can't finish because I'm really riled up about the next process, and I don't even want to start that. But I'm going to tell you, if you want to know what we're doing, again, you want to get updated with, our food drive, our shoe drive, all those kind of things. Again, we're on Instagram and Twitter at Wilson of Ames. We're also on Facebook and TikTok at Wilson Toyota of Ames. And, of course, get down with the big dog at Big Strong. 2 G's when you're as big as I am.
Here we go again.
And at Big Strong 1 if you want to get on the Insta chat. Hey, man, we appreciate you joining us at Midwest Mayhem. We got all the business when it comes to the car business, so stay tuned.
Let's go.